It's a console that can be adjusted in real time. You can press the button, you can go up or down, you can go backwards or forwards, you can adjust the work deck, you can tilt your large overhead monitor if you've got now light coming in from an undesirable angle late in the afternoon through the windows and you want to change the tilt of your monitor, you can do that.
Welcome to Workspace Design Lab, the show where architects, interior designers, and workplace leaders explore the future of workspace interiors. Each week, we dive into ergonomic office design, modern workspace trends, and sustainable furniture solutions that improve well-being and performance. I'm Syl Vander Park, and together we'll uncover the stories, strategies, and innovations that help you design offices that truly work. Let's dive in. Okay, so we have put a lot of the content from our first audio-only interview in the About format on the new website.
Okay.
So here we are in New York, and you're busy sketching desks.
Yeah, I'm actually working on the development website for Series 7-8.
Right.
The project development website.
Right.
And we're building out the whole, designing out all the ancillary parts to make the system work and to be like an integrated furniture system.
Yeah. Okay. Series 7.8. How would you describe what Series 7.8 is and how it's important to the market?
7.8 was developed as a follow-through from Series 7.5, and Series 7.5 had a shortcoming in that it lacked flexibility to maneuver the monitors in and out, backwards and forwards. So Series 7.8 has the bi-directional capability. The monitor rack has a bi-directional capability. And what's significant about that is on the Profile A console base module, which complies with US ADA legislation and ANSI BIFMA, etc. And what does it do? It goes down low enough that it allows the work deck to drop to 22 inches. The top surface of the work deck can drop down to 22 inches, and then it can adjust up to 48 inches. The travel is it's part of the ANSI BIFMA equation, but the 22 inches is key for ADA. And because the console base module does that, that the monitor rack can go that low as well, and that you get the bi-directional movement now with the monitor rack. It allows you to drop the monitors relevant the work deck, which is say 28, 29 inches high. It allows you to move to drop the monitors and move them back so that a seated person can still see them fully, can see the entire screen, that the screen isn't dropping away and becoming like just not accessible to the user. So, and why was that? That was half of the equation. The other half of the equation is that once the monitors are down low enough, the user can see over top of the monitors and then begin to experience interaction with the full workspace, with coworkers, with supervisors, able to look at display walls, potentially look out windows. St. Lawrence Seaway looks out windows. I Am Gold looks at display walls. Traders look at each other and have hand gestures. And so that's almost sums it up. What was the features that were necessary in 7.8 and why it's significant, and what was the thrust of it. And the strength of 7.8 was that the patent lawyer had an easy time making the case for it, to put a strong application forward for the patents.
Right. Now, for anybody listening who is curious about the patent process,
Yes.
run us through it.
You call
Briefly.
up the patent lawyer and he does everything. No. You have to be knowledgeable. Let's see, if we're talking about patent process relevant to furniture and relevant to console workstations. So you have to know enough about console workstations to know what is something that's valid.
Right.
And otherwise, you're just spinning your wheels. You're just going to go to a lawyer and you're going to ask him to start figuring it out. And that just isn't the way to do it. You've got to have it figured out in your own right. That is the big thing. You've got to have it actually written out to a fair degree, more or less, as I already described it, in terms of the bi-directional movements.
Right.
And that is the key feature. I mean, Series 7.5 was patented for the spatial arrangement between the monitor rack and the work deck. Yeah. But because it didn't have the bi-directional movements, it was it's not as strong as the Series 7.8. Series 7.8 just goes into another league, and we're excited about it because it empowers the user to be able to make adjustments to his workstation, to the console workstation, not his, his, her.
I didn't jump on that.
No, because I'm all too aware of this. And they have to be able to, they don't have to, but they are empowered to be able to make adjustments to their console workstation so as to, in real time, so as to be in sync with the circumstances being experienced in the workspace. The demands of the business, the relationships on the floor, as things change during the day, as people get tired during the day and they have to stand up and stretch. And if you have to be in touch with certain people, if you have to see things, you have to be able to make all these adjustments. And while you're perhaps standing, you want to be able to lower your monitors so that you can converse with somebody who's still sitting.
Right.
And again, Series 7.8 does all of that. So
right.
That really good stuff.
Yeah. The bi-directional is for ocular focus. So your eyes get tired, and that's the main idea.
The bi-directional was to be able to position the monitors down and away so that you could see them when they're recessed. It's a secondary. It's one of those unique, like a windfall benefit, mm-hmm. the ocular exercise that you can have by being able to move the monitors forward and backward. And this is where the patent lawyer really hit the nail on the head. And I didn't grasp it at first, but he really appreciated that the monitors on the design the way it is with the uniform monitor rail and all the monitors mounted on the horizontal monitor rail, that when you move the monitors in and out, they move as a cluster. You do not have to deal with each monitor one at a time.
Right.
They move as a uniform cluster.
Right.
And so that is very reasonable. That's actually a big plus to the whole concept. And so therefore,
once you have them set in place, touch of a button, they all move back and forth.
That's correct. And so you get the ocular exercise with regards to your entire spectrum of monitors. Right. Hence, we call it the monitor spectrum. Even if they're stacked, if you have 5 across, 3 high, so you've got a real cluster of monitors. All this can move. The consoles have 1,000 pounds of lifting capacity, so they can carry this load and
move it.
Yes, and the machined rails on the system keeps everything in line, 100% parallel.
Yeah,
I mean that's probably one of the secrets, really, of the design, is that it has to be parallel, and otherwise it just doesn't move. If you've got real weight on there,
right?
So the real weight can just slide back and forth,
right? When you were talking about real-time adjustments, and NovaLink has been through a series of names. You had NovaLink System Pack.
Yeah.
Then we started to get into the series numbers, but we had Oscar, and then the series numbers, and then we went to NovaLink parametric contract furniture to differentiate it from the, probably 100 other companies that are now called NovaLink out there. But also to just describe what kind of furniture we do.
Yeah.
And the parametric, a lot of people say, well, what do you mean by parametric?
It was so difficult. Like the problem with when you're developing a console like this, it's so jam-packed with features and ideas. It's very difficult to kind of distill them down into what is the real essence of it. And the term parametric contract furniture was registered as a trademark before NovaLink parametric contract furniture was registered. So yes, in registering NovaLink parametric contract furniture, the emphasis was to tie the name NovaLink into the whole equation. But the term parametric contract furniture was challenged for being descriptive, but it was overrode because the description was not literal in terms of what parametric is defined as. A parametric equation, parametric software adjusts automatically to new parameters as they're put in. So parametric console furniture doesn't do that because it's the nature of the situation. If you say,
like a Play-Doh desk or something.
Well, if you want it to adjust to this height, do you want everything to automatically adjust? No, the user doesn't want that. The user has her own set of circumstances that they need to deal with. These are the circumstances in the room, and there isn't any mathematical linkage between them necessarily. So the term parametric contract furniture was then understood not to be literal. It's not a literal description. It's a suggestion. It's more of a suggestion of an understanding of what this is about. That it's a console that can be adjusted in real time. You can press the button. You can go up or down. You can go backwards or forwards. You can adjust the work deck. You can tilt your large overhead monitor. If you've got now light coming in from an undesirable angle late in the afternoon through the windows, and you want to change the tilt of your monitor, you can do that.
Yeah.
If you want to go to a standing position and you want to change it, you can make these changes. And that's really what it's all about. It's to try and encapsulate the idea of workstation dynamics. And we played with all these words. And once we really hit on the definition of parametric, it just seemed to strike home that, yes, the user is the center point of the parametric process.
They're the math.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's correct. But that the desk has all these flexibilities.
That's right. Yeah, which was better than flexible, furniture, because gives another idea.
That's right.
Yeah.
All the other terminologies in the business, and this is where, you've got all these features built in, and how do you explain what is
right
the essence of the desk,
right,
of the console? You put all this effort into designing it, and you've got patents and all this. What makes it different from so-and-so's console that maybe makes an arc, or so-and-so's console that it has a split deck capability, but they don't really allow the monitors to be adjusted on the console top, such that in the workspace they enhance the user's ability to interact with the workspace, be it coworkers, as said before, coworkers, supervisors, display walls, windows, any number of these things.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's good. You're talking about there's all these features. So you've got the monitor flexibility or adjustment flexibility, tilting back and forth.
Yeah.
You got you call them work decks.
The tilting is on the third zone.
Right.
So just to be clear, tilting is not
your front ones.
Is not on the middle zone, because if you've got a cluster of 2 or 3 tiers of monitors, or one tier, and you've got say 43-inch monitors side by side, and you've got 4 of them.
Yeah.
You don't really want to be messing with them much, because they're just going to get out of sync in relationship to each other.
It's that one that overhead with the one monitor that you're maybe overseeing the airplane runway, or kind of thing, airport runway. So the work surfaces, you call it work deck. The work surfaces go height adjustable up and down, independent from the monitor decks.
That's correct.
You can do multi-zones. The product's inherently sustainable. We can have a separate conversation about sustainability.
Yeah, no, sustainability is a big part of the thinking, because the modular nature of it, the long-term warranties on it, means that you can't guarantee for a fact that a third-party lift leg will not at some point give out. So you have to be able to take things apart. You have to be able to, and technology can change. I mean, we're seeing an infusion now in the works. Some of the workplaces are bringing in multiple curved ultra-wide monitors, and we're having to do large side-by-side configurations where as many as 3 49-inch monitors, which are each 47 inches wide, are forming a workstation around the user. And interestingly enough, there is a need to not have the arc too wide.
Right.
You've got to be able to pull these monitors in so that it's not out of the vision range of the user, that they're close to the monitors.
Right.
And that's all important stuff.
And being able to change out for whatever comes next, in the technology that's going to come out in the future. I mean, you started out NovaLink with CRT monitors and being sunk into the desk at an angle, and this, and
started out with 9-inch CRTs, Electrohomes, and then that changed into a combination of the 3 9-inch which were on the Reuters programmable keyboard. And then you got into your first 12-inch PCs. And then that graduated.
The Bloomberg monitors came in, and
and then the 12-inch PC graduated into a 12-inch or 14-inch color PC. And then that graduated into larger monitors. And then, if you were a money market kind of guy, you had, it was the bond markets that were always into the Bloombergs. And quite often they were shared. So then you had to have a perch to put them so they could be shared between two traders. And people could still see over top and deal with each other. These are all key features that, to some degree, in the rush to embrace CRT or LCDs, were just brushed aside. And if you go into many trading rooms now, it's like people are in cubby holes, and they have quite often 43-inch monitors in portrait mode, around them.
Yeah.
We've done trading desks where you have as many as 24-inch
That's
screens.
Incredible.
And they literally have one or two screens in their array.
Their screen of screens, yeah.
No, as a whole, removed so that they can see through to somebody.
Yes.
So it's always been there, and it's an aspect of the trading business. It's the aspect of control rooms that's been lost because people just think, well, you just can't have it anymore. And lo and behold, NovaLink came along with Series 7, 8, and said, you can have it, guys. You can have your cake and you can eat it too.
Right.
That's it in a nutshell. Now, we strayed from
sustainability.
Sustainability, yeah.
Well, but what's interesting is that in some cases, those desks that started out maybe as CRT desks are still maybe in use today with the core structure.
Yeah.
Work surfaces replaced.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to, sink anything into the workstation area.
It was like an odyssey almost. It started out with, as described, with the CRTs, and then the turrets, the trading telephones. This is for financial trading. And it was used for a lot of other things like 911. The most desirable turret phone was the IPC because they were small modules that could be connected together into a large horizontal affair. And you could make a chassis, you could sync them into the work deck, you could have your monitors drop down behind them, but you could still see just over top of the top edge of the telephone and see the screen of the monitor, the full screen. And you could see over top of the monitor and see your buddy across the way.
Right.
I know we're not talking about sustainability, but it's the dynamics.
Well, it's the modularity, right? Because then you could put those in, you could take them out, you could switch out work surfaces.
I'll get back to it. There's just one point that I wanted to make about the sight lines. I did a trading room once for L'évêque Beaubien, and it was L'évêque Beaubien and Combination National Bank at that time in Canada. And the head trader, we were designing the desk, and he says, I want to be so close together with the guy on the other side. I want to see what he's writing. I want those 9-inch monitors to be sunk into the work deck so low and so close together that they're using minimal space, and I want to be that close. That they want to be that tight.
Right.
So that's the dream space. Now, probably things have improved somewhat with digital communications. So it's not the same as it was. But anyway, so going back to the sustainability, early on, probably one of our very first height adjustable work decks or workstations quickly became a dual zone because it was a hydroelectric
application. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was for their main control room where they actually sell the electricity to other organizations that buy the electricity. And this was the first time I encountered a situation where they wanted 10 CRTs side by side, but they wanted to see over top of them. And they wanted to be able to drop those CRTs down a little bit if they were standing. So there's ability to see over top because they had a big mimic wall. That's what they would call it. It showed the entire electrical system of the utility, the very large one, and it showed all their different generating stations in different places and even transformer facilities. And it would tell them at a glance that they were all working or that they were online.
Right.
And if something was not online,
it would flash.
The big display wall would show it.
Okay.
So the sight lines were very important. And these 10 monitors had to be wrapped right around.
Yes.
And interestingly enough,
the horseshoe layout. Yes.
Yeah, there's Hydro-Quebec is still using theirs.
Amazing. And how many years ago was that?
Oh, no, it's almost 35 years.
Yeah.
And we have supplied new leg structures for them.
Yeah.
We've changed out work decks for them. But it's a big wraparound console.
Yeah.
We've moved it from one building to another.
Yeah.
And they like it very much. They like the style of it.
Did any of the desks have to change kind of layout? Like rough layout?
No. They really liked what they had because it was a really low and open kind of look up off the floor.
Yeah.
And all the monitors. It's long ago that they were all converted to LCDs.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they're probably all the old LCDs are because they're just flat decks. They weren't kind of like rail structures or anything. So they just put the on the stands that come from Dell or HP or somebody like that. And I'm sure that if you went into their office now, the smaller LCDs are replaced by the ultra wides.
Sure. Hey, quick pause. Workspace design can feel overwhelming, right? Requirements, considerations, and costs aren't always clear, and sometimes you're left guessing about what to prioritize. At NovaLink, we endeavor to help cut through that noise with a product and a process featuring a team that offers experience, knowledge, and step-by-step guidance. It just makes the whole journey easier. If that's the kind of support you're looking for, click the QR code or see the link in the show notes. Now, back to the conversation. So we talked about the modularity. Where did the idea of doing a modular design come from?
It's really a derivative of the manufacturing process. The CNC components produced off of, from standard generic materials, steel in particular, are not really prone to having everything connected together. It's not like an automobile where you send it down the line and you have all kinds of, let's say, robotic arms spot welding it together. It's so the consoles are assembled with standard fasteners, and they allow things to be put together, taken apart. They allow product to be repaired, upgraded, reconfigured. The core of the sustainability aspect is really that the parts are always available. There's an outside chance that a supply chain part, something that we do not make ourselves, be it a lift leg or some other parts, is no longer available. And fortunate, we're working with good companies, and they, especially with the lift system, they've been very prudent about making a new system, a new leg, a new detail, compatible with old details, with old dimensions. So you can lift out a DL1 and put in a DL1A. DL1s are no longer available. DL1As are not available from an inventory base, but you can order them up. Interestingly, when the DL6 leg was introduced, they made sure it would fit exactly right into the DL1A space.
Great. Yeah.
So same connecting points.
Right.
The difference in the legs are there's some certain aspects of it that are different shape, and certain secondary components that support work decks and so on are different. They have different mounting holes. So if you have to do a wholesale change out of a lift system on a given console, you can do it. There are going to be a few parts that you're going to need that the old desk didn't have, or maybe it had, but they're no longer suitable for the new part. They are a small quantity, a small percentage of the components that interact with the lift system. And a big part of our whole approach to sustainability is that the components that we manufacture that make up 90% of the console are manufactured by NovaLink from standard materials. So they are manufactured from standard materials. They are available at standard prices, and they are available with standard warranties. So you're potentially buying a replacement component or even a custom component, and you're going to get it at standard prices, standard timelines, like delivery timelines for production timelines, and you're going to get it with standard warranties. So it's like buying a standard product, and there are, unless we change our methods, this scenario is open ended. That's where, like, the spine system is still enjoying from select customers excellent sales.
The spine system dates back to series, I guess, 5.5 and earlier.
Yeah, it actually goes back to Series 1, which was the cantilevered console system. That's what it was called originally. Right. And then we went through a succession of Series 2, Series 2.5, Series 2.75, then there was I can't even remember all the series, but there was a whole host of them, and they were all in response to new technology. Right. And they were all adaptable to the spine system. Right. So that's a pretty strong argument. And then you look at customers like, I won't say the customer's name, but they're a major railroad, and they are retaining the spine system with the partition panels that go up to 6 feet. They are gutting the old lift system and the work decks inside of the beam, and they're bringing in new 7/8 consoles, which have the duals, the the dual
height adjustable zone.
Yeah, but the bi-directional
right
movement of the monitor rack, which is it gives the users tremendous an enhancement over for what they're doing. So, and these kind of things flow right into hot button design issues. 7.8 is being designed with partition panels that you can separate positions one from the other. So you can get it with glazed panels. You can get it with acoustic panels. You can get it, and it's very, very durable. It's the rigidity of the partition panels is really quite astounding. It's almost like I'm talking a little bit like vaporware. There's just a whole raft of new developments in the process that will accompany the Series 7, 8 consoles.
Right.
And so there'll be large U-shape consoles. There will be consoles where you have shared piers between consoles, which are they are potentially conference tables. They are potentially
they're returns, kind of thing.
Large returns. They are potentially static or height adjustable. So there's just a lot of things that are brewing.
Now, the other thing, there's 2 points. First of all, one is like the equipment access, equipment accommodation. We've talked about monitors. We'll get to CPUs and other things, but just to back up a little bit with the sustainability is, I think a big key is managing to have, there's sustainable design and then there's sustainable manufacturing, just to highlight that the product is made in Canada, it's not farmed out. It's because sometimes we think, well, we want like green options that are cost effective and, keeping the manufacturing in North America, we're maintaining, standards for our personnel, there's a whole host of things that go, with fair work environments and all that kind of stuff that goes together with sustainability,
The going just back to the product and making one point about it, it's Series 7.5 and the proximity of Series 7.8 to Series 7.5. Those products are they're compliant with the requirements of the GSA in the U.S. and they are also we're compliant with BIFMA standards for commercial furniture. So, so there's these are standards for off-gassing. These are standards for rigidity, load-bearing qualities. These are standards for rigidity, structural integrity of the product.
Yeah, no, it's just there's all the, I'm just kind of checklist items, that there's the sustainability, there's the, various policies that we have to comply with in the company, to deal with multinational companies, major corporations that have, supplier codes of ethics and stuff like that. And that, there's compliance there. And I think that's all part of the sustainability is building a company that can respond to our clients' needs to be ethical and developing, being proactive in, off-gassing, carbon footprint, all that kind of stuff as much as possible.
And a point that we are really proud of, our shop has, the NovaLink manufacturing shop has gone more than 2,000 days 2,000 consecutive days without a time lost
Injury. Yeah. And the people, I mean, they've been there for decades, many of them,
And so we're and we buy machines that are extremely safe.
Yeah.
We opt for choices, for instance, brake presses, they're upstroke.
Yeah.
They're no longer sold by Amada, who is the manufacturer, because they're not conducive to be harmonized with robots.
Oh, okay.
It's just the upstroke, and basically the robots work with downstroke press brakes, so the part is placed in the machine in a stable position, and then the machine responds to that part and makes its imprint on it. Its adjustment. So but the upstroke press brakes are just unbelievably safe.
Okay.
There's never been an incident. And the reason being is that when you're holding the part in the machine and you step on the treadle to operate it, you are absolutely aware that the machine is moving.
Yeah.
Because your hands are moving with the part.
Yeah.
And so you are involved in that process. And so therefore it draws your attention to it. It's not like your hand is in there and suddenly a die comes down on your hand, catching you by surprise.
Right.
The same thing with we have no shears in the factory.
Yeah.
Shears, again, are the kind of machine that will remove a finger in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So everything is, all our parts are programmed for CNC stamping unit, and sheets of steel are fitted into the machine. They're clamped into space, and hands are drawn away. I mean, you have safety lights around the perimeter of the machine, so you can't go close to it.
Right.
And so the machine just runs, it does its thing, and so there are no accidents there.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with, and we don't get into overtly large sheets of steel. We don't get into overtly large, thick gauges, which basically runs up the weight in steel, the weight of the sheet, and can be a problem for the operator of the machine. Over in the wood shop, we have installed lifting assists. In fact, we've installed lifting assists throughout the plant, in shipping, in assembly, in the wood shop, in several places. Yeah. And so these assists lift the sheet of laminate, a laminated board, generally 4x8 feet. Yeah. And they lift them, they fit them into a machine, or they fit them onto a table for some kind of secondary process. And so again, we're just not experiencing, strained backs, strained arms, hurt fingers, because it's just, you're allowing machines to do the work for you. It doesn't take a lot, but it's not like it's rocket science, which it's just the company's diligent for it. This is one of the other things we do. Instead of forcing, say, somebody who is feeding steel into a stamping machine to have to go and get a lift truck in order to handle that, we have bought for the different departments and the different machine operations, we buy appropriate lifting machines, basically walking, lifting type devices that can carry heavy load, so that when they need to move something, they've got their dedicated machine. They don't have to go and ask for the lift truck. And if the guy on the lift truck says, "I'm busy right now, I can't do that," then they try doing something that isn't appropriate.
Right.
Good productivity,
Yeah.
giving the people the machines they need for good
Yep.
productivity, and having a mind for safety is a big thing.
Yeah.
And it's really panned out for us.
Yeah. What would you say, and you can ponder this, you can answer it now, or you can answer it again or answer in the future. What is the legacy that you want to leave behind?
I like to believe I did my best, and did my best for customers. Customer satisfaction is such a big thing. It goes back to our roots. Doing your best for your employees. You carry them through thick and thin. It's your team, and your team is what gets you through. They help you deliver the goods. They help you achieve good end results. So quality control in NovaLink is a full team effort. It's not left to one individual or a team of individuals. No, it's the entire shop is encouraged to have an eye for problems, and they feel free to speak up when they think they see something.
Yeah.
So that's important. And then for my wife, who's been a partner, definitely done your best and work at having a good work. You put everything into having a good working relationship and trusting. And I think the fact that there's that trust element between my wife and I, that it works its way through to how we relate to other people in the shop and in the office. So, and then we're very happy with the
little one.
Yeah, with the little one. Your involvement and your desire to make things work and to, clearly it's good to not be following exactly in doing what has previously been done, but to start looking at new ways of doing things and new considerations. And
I was talking about your grandchild, but okay, you're talking about me. Yeah. Well, it's you have to do things within your talents, or else it's fake.
Yeah. Well, it's good to. Vivian's a bit young to really apply her mind to it, and I would say that you are. You are taking a step that you think is right and is appropriate, and I'm all for it.
Yeah.
And I believe in it.
I would say your optimism is your final stamp, on things.
Yeah, we believe we can win.
Yeah,
and we have won. And if you go back to 1998, when probably the first time I felt the spine system it was at its zenith, and you could sense in customers that I was making a presentation to, in particular, a customer in Hong Kong, and you could sense that the parameters of the spine system were no longer on their own the magic for sealing the deal.
Yeah.
And you knew that you had to develop this product or develop a new product. And so, the optimism was never to quit. Me personally, I feel like it was within reach. And it has been a struggle, but it's within reach, and you just stay on it, and it's such a pleasure when you find yourself working with a knowledgeable patent lawyer who suddenly says, I got it. I
Thank you,
can see
George. Thank you, George from Hodgson Russ.
Yeah, and you can see it,
Yeah.
and actually contributes
Yeah.
a way of looking at the product that goes beyond with what I was originally just seeing. And so it's this product is Series 7, 8 monitor spectrum consoles. I think has the potential to offer another way of looking at furniture and the workspace, commercial furniture, commercial console workstations, and how that workspace works. How it interacts, how the user group and the supervisors function. It opens up whole doors to possibilities that weren't there before. With all the equipment piled up and everything barricaded in. So this is a real challenge to communicate what the furniture can do and
the difference it can make.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because people just assume, everything's going to be a wall of monitors and, this is it. We're in a cubicle of equipment and this is just it. But we're saying, no, it doesn't necessarily have to be that way.
And also, in the world of the post-COVID-19 world, people like to be just a little bit more farther apart. They like to have their space. So these consoles are really conducive to spreading out monitors on a single tier inset kind of an array and a spread out work surface.
Yeah.
And
it gives people more personal space.
That's right. And progressively, we're going to add more and more personal amenities for
storage and kind of decorations and
for photographs of their family, mementos of trips, of events that they've participated in, so that this is their space.
Yeah.
And this kind of thinking has to be part of the ergonomic equation. It isn't enough to just say, we're going to give somebody a height adjustable this, that. They need to feel at ease. They need to have that sense of comfort. There has to be this team amalgamation in the workspace. Otherwise, it becomes a miserable space. And that's over the years, if there's anything, I like to chat in the office. I like to joke. I'll make jokes, self-condescending jokes or jokes about somebody else.
No.
But no, it's just, chew the fat about sports, chew the fat about this or that.
Talk about music. Yep.
Yeah. And it creates a bond. People have a sense of trust. They know that there's nothing burning in the back of your brain that is, I'm going to get you. I have marginal regard for you. No,
right.
it's they basically understand where I'm coming from, what my values are, and how it relates to them. And I think that's a big thing.
It's huge. It's huge. I would probably, if somebody said, well, what advice would you give, somebody else starting up a company, I would imagine it would be like, persevere. Never say no to a customer, reasonably speaking, always say, I'll give it a go. What else would you say? Is there a third point?
One has to be realistic. One business can be entirely different than another business. So, furniture business has the luxury that it tends to give you real latitude, real potential to make things happen because it's furniture, as opposed to doing something that is entirely chemical or entirely software, or there are things that a single person just does not have that much control over. But it is dreaming with the big idea. The big idea in your mind is if you have an idea that this is something that's viable, that you know something that's viable, it's going after it and not backing off. And if anything, we started from nothing. There was no financial resources. There was no manufacturing punch. There wasn't even a network of manufacturers, of sub-manufacturers, ready to step up and do things for you. You had to make everything happen yourself, and you had to believe in yourself. Such that when you look into a customer's eye, or he's looking back at you, he's buying into you, because and you always have to go out and take the extra step, build a sample, and give them a real hands-on idea as to what you're offering. So it's being gutsy, being committed to what you believe in. It's clearly over the years developed a lot of ideas about office space, furniture, things that are important, that I believe are important, and you go after it.
Yeah.
Because if you're not going to go after it, if you're going to be a me too, well, you're lost.
Yeah.
You're just up against mass production, and then you're just chasing price. So it's better to offer the customer something better, something of quality, and something that they can say, yeah, this is worth buying. And we've been very fortunate. The largest banks have bought our product. The largest governments, military organizations, the largest utilities, airlines, railroads, it just goes on, have purchased from us. This is a very big source of pride. They can go anywhere they want. They have the money, they have resources, they can do anything they want. When they buy from you, it's sort of like confirming, yeah, you're doing good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.